Govvi. I make my home here in the Salt Lake City area, actually down in Alpine. I'm a mother of 5. My oldest is 29. I have the youngest who's almost 16. And I've loved being a mom. I went to college thinking I wanted to be an attorney. And almost 27 years ago, when I started, after having my first son, my first 2 boys, I decided I wanted something different. I wanted to be able to be home and raise my kids. And I was introduced to this incredible industry of direct sales and building a business from home. But I got to tell you, there may be some on the call tonight that can relate to I came kicking and screaming, meaning I wasn't really sure that's what I wanted. I had always heard about, those businesses from home. And I thought, well, that's not for me. That's not what I want to do. And I was fortunate enough to have somebody in my life that said, Lori, you don't know what you're talking about. So you shouldn't stick your nose up to something that you don't understand. And boy, am I glad that I took that advice and I really researched, because this journey has led me to create an amazing lifestyle for my family. Most important of which is I got to stay home and raise my children. I've earned over $1 million in my career. I've been both on the field side as well as the corporate side. So I have that unique experience of being behind the veil, if you will, at seeing what it really takes to run a company. And that's given me a perspective also when looking at a company to align myself with. I can see some things that either I want to align myself or I don't. So I'm going to share with you what I believe is just a really amazing opportunity, not just from the business side, but from the product that we have to offer. Govvi has been in business now just approaching their 3rd month or their 4th month. They've been in business almost 3 months. And they have created an amazing situation doing about $2.5 million in sales, founded by 3 individuals who are time tested in the marketplace. They have built large sales organizations, international markets. They know what it takes to make a company run. They understand from a field perspective what it takes for us to do the things that we do. And they've surrounded themselves with other experts in operations and IT that quite frankly make this company look like it's been around much longer than just about 90 days. So what is Govvi? Govvi is an e-commerce company that has brought to market this cool little fuel tablet we call Boost. Now, the interesting thing about this fuel tablet is that this is not a new thing. This was actually a 5th generation of this fuel catalyst backed by a 1973 Nobel Prize in chemistry. And I have a really interesting story to share with you. I am in my 2nd marriage. My husband and I met about 12 years ago. And he comes from the insurance background, building large and small business health plans. And when I met him, he had this 55-gallon drum of liquid stuff that he said, put inside your gas tank. This is going to help you get better gas mileage and your car run better. And at the time I was driving a huge expedition with all my children. I have no idea at that time what it was. I didn't really care. I trusted him. He told me to use it. And I did, but you know what? I hated it. And I never used it. It only got used whenever he put it in the car because it was in a liquid and it smelled awful and it was messy to put in my car. But here's what I can tell you. I did get better gas mileage and my car did run better. Now, here's what's the funny story. That fuel catalyst that he put in my car, that liquid was actually these individuals' product. He wrote their health plan. And so here we are full circle when he found out that Govvi was launching and that they had this formulation and it was now in a tablet. It was completely a no-brainer to him because he understood exactly what it was and exactly now being able to take it to the marketplace to individuals like you and I was going to be a big, big deal. It's a revolutionary catalyst that changes the molecular structure of the fuel molecule to make them smaller, more uniform, and burn efficiently and completely. So there's no carbonization or carbon residue, and there's more power to the engine. It's formulated to reduce your fuel consumption, which of course is resulting in more miles per gallon. Our personal experience, we have 3 vehicles that we drive. They're big vehicles, truck. I drive a big SUV. It's an Infiniti QX80. And then we have a little Jeep Wrangler. And we save almost $400 a month as a result of utilizing the fuel tablet in our cars. That's a big deal. Now we're driving everywhere, teenagers, all kinds of stuff going on. We noticed most of the increase in the Wrangler. Every single vehicle got more miles per gallon, 3-4 miles per gallon. The newer cars, we didn't really notice a difference in the way they ran because they're pretty new. They're only a couple years old. But the Jeep is a 2014 Jeep. We noticed a huge difference in that. Big pick-me-up. When it's going up hills, it now just flies up the hill. And we realized 5 miles per gallon in her vehicle. My daughter, actually, that's her car that she's going to get here shortly. Big deal in that. So how does it work? Well, here's just some examples. It creates an acceleration of fuel burn at the time of combustion, reduces the peak temperature of the cylinder, increasing the life, and it creates a unique catalytic cover of the combustion surfaces. So take a look at this picture. And what you're looking at is looking down at the cylinder with the fuel injectors. You can see before Govvi how dirty and yucky it is, and afterwards how clean it is. So because of the molecular structure of this fuel tablet, it's burning cleaner, which is reducing all of that residue inside of your vehicle. These are some of the things that we are realizing as a result of that. A 15 to 20% increase in people's gas mileage. Now, I've actually had reports that that's a bigger number. Some of you maybe have experienced that too, but on average, we're 15 to 20%. An increase in the octane and cetane levels. Now, in my vehicle, it says that I should use premium fuel, but I actually can use regular fuel and still have incredible performance on my vehicle. I don't have to burn and spend the money on that premium fuel. Increased power in diesel and gasoline engines, longer maintenance cycles between the oil changes, elimination of existing carbon deposit buildup, and some of the other things that you can read there. This is a biggie. There's some of you that are listening in tonight that are concerned about the environment. There's reasons to be concerned about that. Utilizing this fuel tablet reduces CO2 emissions by up to 40%. So by using this, we're actually helping the environment. We're increasing our dollars in our wallet. We're increasing the miles per gallon. We're reducing the maintenance on our vehicle because it burns cleaner, and we're reducing the emissions by up to 40%. And here's the really interesting thing. For those of you that drive a diesel or maybe know somebody who drives a diesel, they have to use what's called DEF, which is diesel exhaust fluid inside of their engine. And the use of these tablets reduces the amount of DEF used in diesel engines. We actually have a few of our clients who have told us that they use 50% less DEF inside their engines as a result of using the fuel tablet. For those of you that have not had an opportunity to look at the tablet, this is how small it is. It's about 3/4 of an inch. It comes 5 into a packet. And as you can see, there's a score right there in the center of the tablet. Maybe perhaps you have a gasoline powered mower, or you have a motorcycle. Any combustible engine, you can utilize this fuel tablet in. This particular tablet can go from 15 to 20 gallons of gas. If you have less amount, you simply can break the tablet in two. So remember when I said that Govvi was an e-commerce company? This is really in its simplicity. We have the opportunity to be the mouthpiece of this amazing product and participate in the marketing of the company. And this particular page is the page that people you refer to Govvi are going to take a look at. And they'll look at, well, maybe they're a 1-vehicle household, in which case the starter pack might make sense. They're going to get 5 tablets inside that packet. You'll also see the difference between monthly and one time. Now, what that means is a subscription versus just purchasing it one time on a retail basis. If they choose to go on subscription, which I recommend because then it always shows up, right? They're going to get a bigger discount, $24.99. Maybe some of you have more vehicles. I said our household is 3 vehicles in our house, so business pack makes sense for us because we also understand the business aspect of being able to refer other people to be able to have this product. So we use 3 to 4 packs in our household, and then we want others to be able to share with other people. So wherever it is that you see yourself, there's an opportunity here for you to be able to subscribe and save some money. And for that, then the company will simply add you on a subscription basis and ship it to you every single month. Now, the cool part is, remember, I brought up business a couple of times, and some of you have come here specifically to hear about a business. Govvi is an e-commerce company with a rewards plan. Now, the unique thing about Govvi, different than anything I've ever seen, quite frankly, in the home-based business, is that they really take this rewards idea to heart. Meaning, if you're going to participate in the reason for this company's success and share in that process and share in the wealth as it relates to that process, they want to reward you. There's many different ways that they reward you. I'm just going to cover a few of them tonight. Before I do that, though, I think it's important to talk about the marketplace and what really is the opportunity in e-commerce business. You'll see this came out from Bloomberg in April of 2021, so a year ago, where it stated that e-commerce market is expected to be $16.2 billion. Now, listen, I think we can all attest that 2020 changed the way that we think about shopping, right? And all of us found that we ordered it and it was drop shipped to our house. I don't know about you, but when I used to just love to go shopping, go someplace, I actually love now being able to order it online. And I think more and more people around the world are feeling exactly the same way, hence the number of 16.2 billion. So the opportunity is we have a fuel tablet. Right now, gas is expensive. We're helping people save money at the pump. So it's not like it's something that they have to think about whether or not they need. They need it if they're driving a vehicle. And we get to be a part of this amazing company and part of the reason for its growth. So what does that look like? There's 7 different ways that they actually compensate you in their rewards program for being a part of Govvi. I'm just going to talk about a few of them. Number 1, it's called a 2-team reward. Now, I don't know, for those of you that have ever owned a business, then you know that it's a big deal. It's hard to keep track of stuff. One of the other things I love about Govvi is that I can simply share information and they're going to keep track of it for me. What that means is when somebody orders, there's points attached to that dollar amount, whatever that is. If they're going to order the business pack at $100, then there's 70 points that get assigned to me. Now, I don't have to keep a spreadsheet to keep track of that. My structure in my back office, because they have this amazing IT team that's built all this out, keeps track of it for me. And for simplicity's sake, they put it in one of 2 places or 2 teams as you're building your business. And each week, because we're paid every week, we get paid between 10 and 20%, just depending upon the range of that commissionable volume or points that's accumulated. In this particular situation, you see on one side, there's 3,000 points, and on the other side, there's 4,000. So at 10%, it would be 300. At 20%, it would be 600. Again, that's a weekly check. As you can imagine, as people continue to share, if you're looking at this from a 2-team structure and you're helping other people, like utilizing the tools we're doing here this evening, then you can see how those points can take on a life of its own very quickly. This happens to be one of my favorites. And I know some people have kind of laughed at me and said, Lori, why is this one of your favorite? Those are kind of small numbers, $100, $700. Why is that your favorite? And I'll tell you why. I told you I've earned over $1 million in the industry, and I've been fortunate enough to work with some incredible people. But unfortunately, I've had a lot of people in my life that weren't really able to make the business work for whatever the reason was. It was hard for them to be able just to make enough money to pay for the auto ships that they were committing themselves to be in business. So what I love about the Govvi Life Reward is that this basically says, if you will just share it with 2 people and teach those to share it with 2, we're going to reward you with your first bonus, which is either $50 or $100. Again, depending upon where their order level is at, I happen to believe that you should be ordering those 7 packets, because you should be giving those out to other people and sampling that product so that they can try it. So if you build your team and your structure with a culture of that $100, and you share it with 2 who shares it with 2, your bonus is now going to be $100 and you're cash positive. Now, here's the cool thing. Watch it just continue to duplicate. And let's say that you've introduced your 3rd person and you've taught them all to go get their 3. It's now doubled to $300. And you've done it again with 4, and you've done it again with 5. And you don't stop there, you just keep going. You can see how this can take on, again, a life of its own. But the coolest part about this, ladies and gentlemen, is that I can actually share to somebody who's interested in a business. I can share a product that totally makes sense. If they raise their hand and say, well, I got that, Lori, that totally makes sense. I would like to make some extra money. I can show them how to do it really simply. Instead of what traditionally would take 30 people, 32, 35 people on the 2x2, the same thing would be about 30 people ordering product to generate $100, $120 in commission. I can show you how to do that with 6. And that's incredible. When I saw that, I went, oh my gosh, that's amazing, because now we have people that can really win inside of this rewards model. Now, this is a biggie too. There's some of you on this call that say, Lori, that all sounds awesome. I totally get it. I love the pill, love the idea. I know gas is expensive. I want to build a massive business. I see this as my opportunity to build my retirement, to change my job, maybe to change careers, whatever the case may be. I want to share this with you because this is a biggie. If you're that person and you really do want to take on that mode of training and sharing and engaging and getting people growing in their business, then this is a section you're going to want to pay attention to, because as a promoter with Govvi, they simply have laid it out where if you'll go share this with 2 people and get them engaged and then teach them to do the same thing again and again and again and again, they're going to pay you a 20% check weekly that's a match on the people that you personally referred to Govvi. That's a big deal. It goes on further that I haven't illustrated here just for sake of confusion for another 4 generations, if you will, or levels of pay down in the organization, 10% each. This is a big number. And as you can see from the screen, if you recruited or personally sponsored 5 Govvi promoters, people who are referring this product, and they have a 2-team reward of $1,000, your 20% weekly match is $200 on each one of them, on each one that you referred to this. So some of you may be saying, well, Lori, I don't know, that might be kind of hard. This particular tool, along with tons of other tools that we have, are here designed to be able to help you. If you can see yourself simply using the product, you said, yep, I got that. And you can see yourself sharing information by using a tool. Okay, yeah, I can get that. I can show you how you can change your life and the lives of other people that are important to you by being a part of this opportunity. So what is the Govvi experience? Ladies and gentlemen, Govvi is a worldwide, universally accepted business model. When I heard this, I was like, brilliant. Because if you stop and think, building a business just in your own neighborhood might be great. But when you can build a business in your entire state or your entire country, awesome. But when there's no boundaries to those specific areas, I want you to think about what that can mean for you and for the other people. I really believe my husband and I are building what's called a generational situation for our kids. We have an opportunity to do what we love, to be a part of the reason of this company's growth, which is where wealth is created. If you're fortunate enough to be positioned early enough in the stages to be part of the reason for its success, that's where wealth is created. I believe that we're in that place. We're currently operating in 3 months, over 49 countries. Now, I did this presentation a week ago, it was 27. Now it's 49 as of today. It's just crazy to me. And I have stopped and went, okay, how are they doing that? Like, is that real? How are they really doing that? If you just stop and think about this little packet that can be stuck in an envelope and shipped across the country, across the world, you can then grow a business in those same locations. And you may say, I don't know anybody anywhere else. You might know somebody who knows somebody. You may not know anybody in Africa, but you might know somebody who knows somebody in Africa. Govvi is changing. Oops, that went too far. Govvi is changing the way that people see fuel expense, and they're leveraging their income potential as a result. Take a look at some of these different countries. This is as of today. Where in the world is Govvi? And then I want you just to ask yourself a question. Can you see yourself using this? And then can you see yourself sharing it with somebody else? Because I can assure you that this train is taken off. The question is whether or not you want to be a part of that. And I sure hope you do. It's been a pleasure to spend some time with you. I have a couple of people that I want you to hear from that I've asked just to give a quick testimonial on what their experience has been with Govvi. So if you'll please just listen into them, and then we'll wrap up.
My name is Werner Berger, and I'm happy to be here, especially since I was exceedingly skeptical. I had used gas additives for some time in the past, and I still have pills sitting in my cupboard that I'd never used. Popped in Govvi on a fairly lengthy trip, actually, to Canada. Usually I fill up just at the border, and I attempt to run my tank as low as I can to get there so that I don't have to spend additional funds over there, and was blown away by how much my needle had not dropped by the time I got to the border. Turned out that I'd saved about 2 gallons in approximately 450 miles. By the time the trip was complete, I had done 1,148.58 miles, and I'd saved almost 5 gallons of gas. And that doesn't even count for the shifting from super to regular. And at 450, even just the gas savings is in the range of $22. You add about 50% or 50 cents saving on the gallons that I burnt, and I'm well into the high 30s. Govvi, you have blown me away, especially since this was my first, second, and third tankful.
Thank you so much, Werner.
So I'm Heshi Siegel, and I have been doing network marketing since 1994. So a long time ago. Some of you weren't even born then. I love the industry. When I first started, I had no idea what it was all about. I just chased these people around an event for an entire weekend until they told me finally what it was all about. In my excitement, I just blew the business apart within my first 4 weeks. I've been with several network marketing companies. I've been #1 in the world, #2 in the world. And this is the key for me, is it was always about helping people build their business. And then I kind of lost my mojo. I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. And a couple weeks ago, my friend, colleague, Lorenzo called and he said, want to save money on gas? And I said, yeah. He said, do you want to get it for free? And I said, yeah. He said, do you want to make money? And I said, of course. He said, I'm going to send you a link. I want you to look at it and see if it's for you. And I took a look at it. I'm going, gas. I'm going to do fuel. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I owe it to the world to be able to have a cleaner environment, because I'm an environmentalist, and to just be able to introduce it so easily. And the idea of being able to help other people build their business, the sharing is really important to me. And the company builds its compensation plan on your ability to just share. And I have to admit, I love it. It is so, I say it's just easy to do because everybody wants to save money on gas. Some people want to make money, and that's great. Some people want to make a lot of money. Whatever it is, I feel that I have an ethical obligation to tell every person I care about that they can save money on gas and clean up the environment. Thank you, Govvi. I am ecstatic.
Well, we're excited to have Heshi. Thank you so much. And thank you, Werner. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you again for spending a few minutes with all of us. I encourage you to get back to the person who invited you to this and just get to know some more information and do your research. Don't be like I was and say, oh, no, it's not for me. Do your research so that you can make an educated decision, because I can assure you that we have something really exciting here, and we would love to be able to lock arms with you and work with you. So with that, I thank you again. Have a wonderful night and God bless.
What a wonderful call.
Good night.
Thank you.